Hello viewers, my name is Kenneth Cummings and I'll be sharing with you my top 10 favorite photos of 2010. I chose this photo for the purpose of perspective. Martin Key, a Jackson Christian School, a baseball player, was sliding the home plate and the baseball was not in the catcher's possession. I think it's a really cool sports action photo. One of my first assignments after being hired in 2010 was this Trike-A-Thon at Arlington Elementary School in Jackson on March 5th. I wanted to get a different photo angle of the students riding their tricycles. So I found a spot between two cars in the parking lot. The parking lot is where they were riding their bikes around. And I waited for the right moment to get this photo. This next photo was taken at Toone's Fish Market. It was part of my first photo essay for our Sunday in the South section that ran on June 27, 2010. Jeff Toone, the owner, has been in business for over 6 years. This photo, to me, captures the feel of the business. I was glad my photo editor sent me back out to get more photos. This was actually my second take for the assignment. This photo is another photo with a different angle. Instead of just getting the face shots of the students, I wanted to be able to place the viewers at the scene. I'm 6'3", and I had to sit down on the grass to get this shot at the right moment. The students at Malesus were excited to release the balloons on October 29, 2010. To celebrate choosing to be drug-free. On May 2nd, a reporter and I were traveling around the areas hardest hit by the May 1st and 2nd storms that came through West Tennessee. This photo was taken on Highway 54, which was one of the roads that were completely or almost covered by water, as you can see in the picture. This motorist came driving by, and my first thought was, I wonder where they're going. So I just pulled out my 300mm lens and snapped this picture. And again, as you can see, the water's rushing across the road that you can't even drive through. I was on another assignment with one of our reporters when I got the opportunity to take this photo. I saw this little girl, her name is Eva Dancer, and she was holding on to this hymn book while looking out one of the windows. Her father, Chris Dancer, is the pastor of two churches that were damaged during the storms that came through in May 2010. On the 16th, they held a joint service for the two churches at Bethel Springs Community Center. So I was able to capture this picture of this little girl. I've always loved silhouette photos, and I've also never experienced the emotion that comes with soldiers returning home after being away from family for any amount of time. On April 4th, 2010, I was able to experience both. I was able to meet the soldiers at the airplane when they arrived in Jackson. Then I needed to hurry and run to get in front of them to get this shot. This was one of those one chance to get it type photos. Once they came through the gate, I was able to position myself to get this angle for this shot with the sun still behind them. This photo will always be remembered, not because of how big the fire was, but because I had just gotten home and got into bed around 10 o'clock p.m. on November 14th when I got a call about a fire at a gas station. I didn't hesitate because I knew it was news. So I got in my car and drove the 20 miles to the 101 Travel Plaza. It's right off the interstate. And when I got there, I could see the flames and the smoke filling up the night sky. So this was one of my favorite photos, breaking news assignment. The boat you see in this picture was my transportation to be able to get this shot. It was in Trenton, Tennessee on May 2nd. Again, I was with one of our reporters and we were covering the damages that occurred during the storms that happened on May 1st and 2nd. I was standing on the other side when I saw Chris and Jessica Chisholm come across the waist-deep floodwaters on North College Street in Trenton, Tennessee. I asked them for a ride so that I'd be able to get pictures while on the boat to get a different perspective of how it affected these cities, how these floodwaters came across streets that you have to take boats to get across to the other side. So I actually wanted viewers to be able to see what I saw on that day. And my favorite photo of 2010, I'll always remember due to what was going on and how I came about to get this particular photo. I was already in my car and was about to go to my next assignment when I saw Staff Sergeant Carrie Davis down on her knees with her arms open for her son Trevor. Although I missed that particular shot, I was able to capture this moment when she lifted him up. Davis had just returned to Jackson on April 4th after serving 1 year in Iraq. They landed on April 4th. This was one of those soldiers returning home. It was my first experience of seeing families being there when their family members came back home from being overseas. I really hope you've enjoyed my top 10 photos of 2010. I hope to continue to be able to shoot amazing photos for you, and we'll have more in 2011.